Welcome to Own the Chaos. The stock market is crazy and chaotic.
And crash. You son Oh, God. Hold on. Pause.
Brad and Fat Man Zoom are here to help you own it.
They were targeting Wall Street when they should have been targeting Capitol Hill. They should have been targeting DC. This is the same thing, and this is what people keep missing.
Taking it to the suits, being relatable and hilarious.
You bought GameStop at 400, didn't you? To the moon, baby. To the moon.
Get ready to own the chaos in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad. The stock market is crazy and chaotic, and I've made it my mission to help you guys own it. Fat Man Zoom is gone for one more day. He will be back on Stock Watch Sunday to make his big return. He's been in Brazil for the last 2 weeks, essentially, and he just got done 25 hours worth of traveling, and I told him to stay the hell home. He was actually going to try to make an effort. I told him that he was crazy to come to the live stream. I don't think he would have been any good to anybody, so I told him it's all good. Chill out. Get some rest and gear up for Sunday. So it's gonna be good to have him back. I'm super pumped for that. And I mean, it's actually been kind of fun running the show on my own for a little while, but I have missed the guy. So it'll be good to kind of get that dynamic back going. So I'm super pumped for that. But before we get into anything, as always, let's get hit up the starting five. Lindsay Rice was the first one in here. That's pretty awesome. Fernando Perea, Jeff Bonica, John Gosson, Zane Khan, Trevor Magson. I think I got 6. But anyways, you're the starting 5. If you guys don't know what the starting 5 is, it's essentially the people that are the first ones to show up first. So if you get in here first, you'll get a shout out. So what's up, everybody? The stock market right now is actually pretty on the red side. I wouldn't say that it's, oh no, I'm sorry. Look at this. The Dow actually turned green. It's up about 0.1%. And the S&P and the NASDAQ are just barely red. Nothing too crazy. The NASDAQ's down 1.5%, which is a little bit weird. But, you know, with the movement we've had Monday through Wednesday, it's been absolutely insane. The bounce back that the market has had has been pretty wild. So I'm pretty pumped, actually, just to kind of see it take a little bit of a breather, just to show some signs of health. I'm not a fan of watching the market go straight up in a line. So I'm encouraged to see the health a little bit of the market. We have a great show today. Freddie Valoy is in the house. He'll be with us in just a few moments, but just wanted to kind of cover a couple of things. So I got myself pretty heavy into cash, and then I just loaded the boat on Ford. And I'm talking like 30% of my account's in Ford right now. Probably not a good idea, but I have lots of good feelings about Ford. Just given some of the things that are transpiring, and I actually have a video coming out on Ford. And why I think it's actually the EV stock to own. And yes, it's an EV stock. It's in the game, people. I mean, they're selling EVs. The F-150 is going to absolutely smash everything. It's still going to continue to be the number one selling pickup truck in America for 46 years in a row. This year it was 45. And it might be the number one selling EV pickup as well. I know a lot of people are excited about the Cybertruck, and trust me, I'm sure they're going to do well. But I'm telling you, Ford should not be discounted, and they're just doing all kinds of things. The recent partnership with Salesforce, I think there's a lot of people sleeping on them. I mean, if you're asking me if I'd rather buy Lucid or Rivian, who sold a handful of EVs, or Ford that's selling a shit ton of them, and then also has the Lightning coming out, and they're working to double production because of demand, that screams a buy to me, especially with something that's valued so low. So ended up loading the boat on Ford. I got calls on it way out into next year, so I feel really good about it. We'll see what comes of it, but made a big bet on that, especially since it hasn't had the same type of move as some of the other EV related stocks. So we'll see. But other than that, tomorrow we have CPI numbers that come out, and it's been pretty rough over the last, I would say, 4 to 6 months. We've seen inflation kind of really creep up on everything as far as CPI numbers are concerned. So consumer price index was way high last month. I would imagine it's going to be way high this month as well, especially since we haven't seen much from the Fed, other than the fact that they've talking about tapering. I'm sure that we'll hear from them next week as well. So I think that we're going to see some volatility tomorrow going into next week, which you're probably asking, why would you load the boat on Ford today? And really, it's just because I'm not trying to time for it. I'm not trying to time when exactly it's going to make the move. But I think it does break over $20 a share and beyond. And so my call strikes is at $20. So I'm in the money on those, or right at the money, I should say. So I'm not like going crazy out of the money on Ford and thinking it's going to 25 in a month or something like that. I'm trying to be at least reasonably risk how do you want to say it? It's just paying attention to my risk. I'm not going crazy on it, even though I put a bunch of money into it. So the CPI numbers, I think that's just going to create a little bit of volatility. It's going to create opportunity, though. I still feel bullish about a run into the end of the year. And so I think that being invested in the market, having money in there rather than putting all kinds of cash on the side is probably the way to go going into the end of the year. We're going to have more and more of a conversation of what's going to be happening going into 2022, especially as the Fed does start tapering. Are they going to continue to speed that up? Are we going to see 2 or 3 rate hikes going into next year? And all that's going to be really an interesting conversation because, many of you who have been following the channel have a lot of early followers that have been with me for the last 4 years or so, which I love. But a lot of you have just started following me since the pandemic, right? You just started getting into the market at the best time. The best time you could get in was when the market crashed, right? Back in March of 2020, April of 2020. That's when you guys a lot of you really started to pile into the channel. And so I think that understanding what happens after we see an economic expansion that we're getting ready to go into to 2020, trying to hedge and lower risk of further inflation is going to impact some of the stocks that maybe got you to this point and might not take you to the next step. And so I want to talk about that a lot going into the end of the year and the beginning of next year. So stay tuned for that. But we have earnings this afternoon as well. We have Costco, Chewy, and Lululemon. I know that Freddie is super pumped about Lululemon. He's actually invested in that as well. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring him on. What's up, my man, Freddie? How you doing, my brother?
What's up, Brad? I'm doing great. I'm happy that I can be here to give you your brown guy fix for the day. I know you've been missing Fat Man Zoom, but I'm here for you. I'm here to hold you. What's up, Chaos Crew? How's it going? Hope you're doing well. It's been an interesting time these days. I've been doing a lot more therapy. Big fan of therapy. Go to therapy. It'll make you a better person, better husband, better wife, whatever. I'm very sexist when it comes to therapy, though. I only go to women therapists because women actually listen. I just don't feel comfortable talking to a guy about my problems because I feel like he's gonna be a guy. He's just like if I tell him, hey, listen, Mr. Doctor Therapist, it's been 15 years, but I just cried for the first time out of sadness. I was watching the movie Inside Out, and there's a scene where the little girl has to forget her imaginary friend. And for some reason, I just lost it. I was completely sad. And I feel like he's just going to be like, oh, sorry, no, it's okay. Keep going. Or I'm like a year in and I'm like, man, this therapy stuff's really working, doc. My head and my heart are more connected than ever before. And he's going to be like, gay. Okay, sorry. Okay, all right. So that's why I go to a woman. I just feel more comfortable opening up to a woman. Therapy. Ladies, if a guy tells you he goes to therapy, just ask some follow-up questions. These fuck boys are evolving. They know that in today's day and age, going to therapy is hot. It will definitely get you laid as a guy, but ladies, ask some follow-up questions. Ask for a copy of the invoice. Have him take a screenshot of the telehealth medicine. All right. Fuck boys will evolve. It's just something they do. It's the power of vagina. Men will be men. Women will be women. Here's something that guys do. I was an athlete, so saw a lot of dicks back in my day. And one thing a guy would do out of fun was just like, pull his ball like out of his zipper and just wait for his buddy to look. And when he looks, he's like, I got you, motherfucker. Like, we all get a good laugh. I wonder, do women do that? Right? Like ladies, let me know. I'm doing research here. Like, do you ever just wait for your friend to look and you lift up your dress like, you stupid bitch, Let me know. Cause I know there's things we all do and there's things we don't. So, what else we got here? That's about it for me, guys. Brad, right back to you, buddy.
Thanks for that, Freddie. I hope you guys got some wonderful insight from. I'm actually the opposite. I actually have a dude therapist.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So taking the other side of the coin there. But yeah, it's so true, man. I mean, like, do women like? I don't think they do. I don't think they prank on their girlfriends the way that dudes prank on their guy friends.
No, we're stupid. We are like, yeah, I legit, and I'm not trying to like be a white knight here or try to seem better to women. I'm taller than 6 feet and I'm funny, so I don't need to like pander or anything like that. But I really do think women are smarter than men, and I like that. I like being there's liberty. There's like freedom in being the dumb guy.
100%. 100%. But yeah, guys, let us know what you think as well. I was, as you were saying that men don't listen, Savvy Money Show said, sorry, what did he say? So I just had to say that.
I love that. Shout out to Savvy Money Show.
Also, he donated to the channel, so appreciate the £5. He says, let's get this party started. Hit the like button, subscribe. Yes, guys, absolutely. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. One other thing that I wanted to also address here today was the watch list. If you guys haven't checked out ownthechaos.com, make sure you go and check out the link down in the description, or you can hit the join button next to subscribe if you guys want to go check out and become a channel member. It just supports the channel, really, at the end of the day. We just really appreciate the support and everything you see behind you. Everything that you put into the channel, guys, meaning going into and being a channel member or going to ownthechaos.com and signing up there. It just supports us. It continues to help us grow. So we appreciate the support and love that you guys give us there. In return, we put out a watch list for you guys every single day before the market opens. And I got to say, Fat Man Zoom killed it today with Fubo. So he had Fubo on the watch list this morning. That's just one of the 5 that we put out before the market opened. And the stock shot up 5% straight out the gate this morning. It's pulled back some, but pretty much with the rest of the market, however. So that actually had a really good morning. So you guys could have made a nice little flip out of that if you guys had gotten that watch list this morning. We've had plenty of other good ones. DR Horton was another one, and I'll show you guys the chart here that I put on the watch list as well earlier in the week, and it hit all-time highs yet again today. So for 4 days in a row, DR Horton hit all-time highs, and the home builders are going to continue to go off. I think this is one of those really good ones that we put onto the watch list, but we regularly put up some bangers, folks. So go check it out. Again, it's ownthechaos.com. We'd love to have you guys there. It's free to sign up, and again, help supports the channel. So we'd appreciate it. So Freddie, I wanted to talk a little bit about some things that have been going on in the market and just kind of get your thoughts. First of all, are you pumped for Lululemon?
I've always been pumped for Lululemon. I mean, just the experience, you walk in, it's just a great view for everybody, males and ladies alike. For ladies, for the guys, you can see some nice butts. Or for the ladies, there's some good dick prints in there as well. So I've always been a fan of Lululemon before I started making money on them. This is great.
Yeah, and so you just started investing not too long ago, and you actually chose to take on some Lululemon. Do you know offhand what your average price is on that? What did you buy it in at?
I don't know what I bought it in at.
Okay, just out of curiosity, no big deal. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
It's up 21. Is that for everybody? 21% or something? I don't know.
No. If you're up 21%, that's awesome. Because right now the stock today is down 1.6%. So if you're up 21%, that's great. That's great. So they have earnings today. Their estimated earnings per share is at $1.41. So that's what the street's expecting. Also, the estimate for revenue as well is $1.44 billion for the quarter. That's just an insane amount of money, bro.
Wow.
So I actually think that they probably come in higher than that. If any indication we saw from some of the other retailers, this is kind of like a later retailer that's reporting their earnings. When we saw numbers from Dick's Sporting Goods, from Kohl's, from Macy's, all this, Foot Locker, they all had really great earnings. So I'd imagine that Lululemon probably does, and I would say that they probably have. I would be surprised if they didn't report to some extent what's going on right now in the fourth quarter for Lululemon. So we take a look at the stock. right now. And
Nice. Shout out to Jay Chocolate. He says hashtag doofus and proud. We're here, buddy. We are here together.
yeah, he's my video editor. He's awesome. But yeah, so we take a look at this, and Lululemon's actually had a pretty decent pullback. So the fact that you're still up on this, Freddie, is pretty awesome. I think that if they come in with some pretty good numbers, we should see a really nice move out of Lululemon. Looking at the market cap here, we're at 54 billion. So pretty stout, pretty expensive all the way around. But the fact of the matter is that Lulu is still growing. They're making money. This is a prime example of a stock that we've talked about lately, that you want to be in ones that are making money right now, especially given the climate that we're in. So the fact that they're not going to be reporting negative earnings or anything like that, if we see any kind of growth from Lululemon, I think it's going to do really well. So pretty pumped.
I want to make sure I'm looking at the right thing here. Is this am I looking at the P&L?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Okay. Then that was correct. All right. Awesome. Yay.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Okay. Let me go away from here. So one other thing that I want to talk about before we get into earnings, I know that you were really pumped about Lulu. So we also have Costco on the docket, which I think will be interesting, especially given how much Costco has moved. And Freddie, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but I really wanted to kind of get your thoughts on this whole story with Apple. So in case you haven't heard, there's a report that came out over the last day or so about Apple and their relationship with the Chinese government. So it just turns out that they actually did a secret deal with the Chinese government. And it was very interesting. They did a non-binding 5-year deal signed by Tim Cook, who's the CEO of Apple, back in 2016. And it was made partially to mitigate or prevent regulatory action by the Chinese government that would have significant negative effects on Apple's operations and business in the country. Now, you might not know this, but there's been some real scrutiny on some of the Chinese stocks because of the Chinese government has been cracking down on them significantly. Baba comes to mind, or Alibaba, Didi, Pinduoduo, all of the other Chinese stocks, and some of them are being delisted from the U.S. stock exchange, which is pretty interesting stuff. So Apple's been virtually untouched. The deal was that Apple was going to support them to the tune of $275 billion to the Chinese government to help with infrastructure and things like that. So there's been a lot of controversy around that because we're just now finding out about this. And this is something that took place in 2016. So I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on this, not from an investment standpoint, but just like as somebody who, has Apple products for one, and just kind of how do you feel about it in general?
So what is Apple getting for that $275 billion? If they're helping them with their infrastructure, what is Apple getting in return?
They're not going. So what they got in return was that they didn't crack down on them from a regulatory standpoint. So like all these other Chinese, like Alibaba, I don't know if you remember us talking about like Jack Ma, and kind of disappeared after he kind of spoke out against the Chinese government.
Yeah.
And obviously we've heard now one of the professional tennis players, and her name has just escaped me, but she basically came out against one of the Chinese leaders on sexual harassment and assault, allegations, and she's just disappeared. Right. So like the Chinese government's come down on a lot of these other publicly traded companies and kind of silenced, and we're seeing a lot of censorship and whatever. And it seems as if Apple's kind of helped out with them. And the way that I see it is like, it's almost kind of a catch-22 for Apple, because what do? China is the second largest consumer of Apple products. They have their second largest economy in the world. And so what are you supposed to do? Just say no? But it kind of seems as if Apple almost kind of bribed China in a sense to basically so that they leave them alone. Essentially, he's like, here's $275 billion, no big deal, and you'll just leave us alone and we'll push everything under the rug. And that's kind of what it seems like. That's the impression that a lot of investors are getting at this point. But at the same time, what do? Do you just oblige and you go along with it? Because if you don't, then it's going to significantly hurt your company, your investors, and your stock, or what? So it's just a very interesting dynamic that's kind of just transpired, and it's so weird that it's just now coming to light.
Yeah, I think there's a thin line between good businessman and asshole. And
Yeah.
Tim Cook, I feel like, is playing that line. So they don't get the regulatory crackdown, but they are supporting something where I feel like long term this could be pretty bad. You know, and this was done 4 years ago. They're investing in their infrastructure. We already know China's coming for us. I mean, this seems like something that's going to be able to speed up the process.
Yeah, I mean that's what it feels like, you know. And then the other side of it is, if you don't play ball with China, like, what does that look like, you know? And I don't know. It's interesting because China could potentially strong arm Apple, but at the same time, Apple's the most powerful company in the world. Period. They're right at $3 trillion. Their market cap is larger than most countries, and so it's just wild for me to see. Did they just take the easy way out because it was the easy way out, or did they feel like they had no other choice? And that's kind of where I'm at. And I haven't really come up with an answer as far as that's concerned. And guys, let us know what you think about it too. But that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah, if you're beholden to your shareholders, then I feel like you kind of don't have a choice in that sense. But you do have the choice to just say, I won't do business with them. Google did that at one point, but then it's like eventually it comes back around where you're going to have to do business with China. Like it's a sticky situation.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of cases, it's the only way you grow. You can only grow so much in the U.S. and really everywhere else. And where do you go? The next biggest economy is China.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to get the bag, you gotta do some kind of business with China. I have a price. If China wants to support my podcast, I have a price. I'll give them all my information. They already have it.
Yeah. So we take a look at the stock here, and here's the daily chart. So each one of these candles represents one day, and this is what it's been doing over the last several days. So Felicia brings up a good point here. She asks, let me bring it up here. She asks, she thinks it might be a little fishy. She says, so this news comes out at about the same time as they reach all-time highs. Is there no coincidences? And you bring up a fair point. You know, is this timely? Does this come out at a time where the stock's at all-time highs? Were you going to put our tinfoil hats on? I think there's certainly something to that. But it's also weird that this has just kind of been hidden from view, especially when you consider, you know, several earnings reports have come out. I think that there's going to be a lot of lawmakers that maybe start to say something about this, because it's like, well, you're supposed to be as transparent as possible, you know, especially by the SEC. I just don't know how we didn't know about this.
And what's going to happen to them on our end? Do you know?
No, I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There hasn't been any kind of regulatory firm that's come out and said, you know, hey, we're going to investigate this or anything. Nothing.
Oh,
so,
my gosh, this is like kind of creepy.
Yeah, like it just kind of seems as if nobody has cared, which I find strange.
Everybody's worried about gas prices right now. They're not looking at Apple.
Right. Exactly.
Or even more important, the price of wings. You know,
I haven't really paid attention to the price. The price of wings are going up.
Yeah. You're getting like it's like $1 a wing these days or something like that. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Damn. That's crazy.
Yep.
All right. So we got about 2.5 minutes from the close. I appreciate you guys all checking in. We got, let me see how many people we got in the house. We have 72 people hanging out with us today. A little bit of a light day, but that's all good. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting a thumbs up, we certainly would appreciate it. As we get closer to the close, we got a couple of good stocks that we're going to be watching for earnings. We got Costco on the docket. We also have Lululemon, as we pointed out earlier. I'll bring that up as well.
Nice. Lindsay is asking, Fat Man Zoom, how was your trip to Brazil? He is recovering from syphilis. That's why he had to miss this show. So our prayers and thoughts go out to Fat Man Zoom. He'll be back. Syphilis free, hopefully.
That dementia will really get you sometimes. Terrible symptom.
Housekeeping asks, any thoughts on BLDR as a good stock to get into?
BLDR. I don't know much about that one. Let me see.
Housekeeping also said that he just found out that girls fart. That's a life-changing moment for a man.
It sure is. I mean, if you go to sleep with one, it's like they all deflate at night. Yeah. I think they all hold their farts in at night.
Yeah.
during the day, and then they just all deflate at night. I think that's exactly just my theory. Personal experience.
Jeff P, what's up, baby?
Jeff P in the house.
Look, Stroh saying something very nice here. Said over 40. Hit the likes. There you go, guys. Hit a little river dance on that like button, guys. Just go ahead and do that.
Give it a little tickle.
Yeah, a little.
Also, let us know where you're tuning in from. I haven't done that in a while. Let's do a little roll call. Where are you guys from? Where are you watching from?
Oh, that'll be fun. This will be fun to see. Jay Chocolate asked, would you trim Tesla to buy some Ford?
Oh, good question. I think it depends on how much Tesla you have. You know, if it's taking up a huge chunk of your portfolio, I think that it makes sense to do that a little bit, diversify some. You know, I don't think it would hurt to sell a little bit of Tesla, especially just given how much it's up and looking at Ford and seeing how undervalued it actually is. I think so.
Jeff P says, women listen. What planet? That's great.
Oh, God.
Jay Chocolate is active in this chat. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Mentioned the Iron Man vintage with the oil painting. Yeah, man, got to have balance in this world, you know?
Have
balance.
You got like, it's like half teenager's room and then half a grandma's room, just all in one. Oh, here we go. We got some people tuning in. So we got LA, Jeff Childs from LA, San Diego, lots of California folks, Queens, New York.
There you go. Queens is the Casablanca of the world now. It's there are more languages spoken in Queens than anywhere in the world.
No kidding.
Yeah, I found that out a couple weeks ago. Shout out to Queens. Spider-Man is also from Queens, so there we go.
Yeah, hey. All right, I'm going to go to the 1 minute chart just so we can take a look at some of the earnings that are coming in here as they come in. And there was a huge drop off on Costco from about, I would say around 2 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
To the close. We had a pretty big sell off going into there. And it looks like everything kind of did the same. So Lululemon also came down some, and Chewy also came down some. So I don't know. Guess the markets decided to sell off. I think a lot of this was anticipation of tomorrow's CPI numbers, which will be out tomorrow morning around 8:30 a.m. So guys, make sure you're keeping an eye on that. But yeah, that's probably why we're starting to see some selling off.
All right. When would be a good time to start picking up Lulu stock again, do you think?
If we start to see, it'll really kind of depend on what the earnings look like.
Okay.
You know,
all right.
If the earnings go off and it goes crazy, I think you just hold and you just wait for, you know, a pretty decent red day, a pretty big pullback. Because right now, I would say that, you know, it's in the conversation where it's had this pretty decent pullback on Lulu. I mean, you can see that the highs were at 485 and it closed today at 416. So it's had a pretty decent pullback. So I think that if they come in and crush earnings, it's probably worth just holding on to. And maybe if it gets back up above 436, you could make the argument that maybe you could, you know, start buying up in there because the momentum could carry on. But I always like to say the buy in the weakness and then you sell into strength. So looking at this, and in your case, you're just looking for, you know, cheap days.
Yeah.
So I would say that, you know, with it being down here in the low 400s after it was almost at $500 a share, even now makes sense. But obviously with earnings, we'll just see how earnings react. And then whenever there's any kind of pullback or what have you, then it probably makes sense for you to take on some more Lulu. Some more people that are chiming in from where they're watching from. We got Madrid, Spain, Albertito. Look at that. Pretty awesome. Tuning in from the UK. We got a lot of people from across the pond, which is pretty awesome. The Netherlands. Hell yeah. This is my favorite part about what I do. We just get to connect people from all over
the Netherlands. Big fan of clogs, and shout out to the UK for inventing English. We perfected it, but without them, we wouldn't be able, you know, we wouldn't have something to perfect. So shout out to the UK.
That's right. Oh man. Chicago is where Jeff is from. Long Island, New York.
Long Island, Strong Island. There we go.
Yeah.
Billy Joel. Is that where he's from? I think that's where he's from.
I think so. Oh, here we go. Lulu is actually getting a move on here. Let's go back to the 1 minute chart. Looks like those numbers might be out. Oh yeah, here we go. Here, let's zoom in here. Take a look at that. Talk about boner candle.
Wow.
All right, so that's a 1 minute chart. Now it's still early, but let's see if we can get those numbers in. I'll go ahead and search those out. Freddie, you can go ahead and still talk to the people while I'm pulling this up.
The comments aren't coming up on my end. Can I?
Oh, they're not? Oh, Freddie just disappeared. There he is. Are you back?
Yeah, I just vanished on you guys. Oh, there we go. There we go. Uruguay. What's up, Daniel? Savvy Money. Shout out to Savvy Money for sharing the stream. Nashville, Tennessee. Oh, yeah. A lot of bachelorette parties out there. Great times. Green Bay, Wisconsin. Hopefully, are there any lactose intolerant people in Wisconsin? Because that would be not a good time for them.
No, would not. Okay, so numbers in for Lululemon. So they see earnings per share at 325. Looks like 325 earnings per share. I want to confirm that, but those are the first numbers that I'm seeing.
Katrina McLaughlin bought Tesla at $10.95, and she wants to know, is she totally screwed? She's panicking.
I mean, it depends on why you bought Tesla in the first place. What did you buy it for? Did you buy it for a long-term investment? Did you buy it because you just wanted to see, some green on your screen in a day? So it really just kind of depends. If you're looking for it as a long-term investment and you put it in your long-term account, I'd say you're fine. You're probably you might see some volatility as Tesla always does. But if you're just looking for a short-term gain, or you're looking for a move in the next day or two, it might be a little bit of a struggle for you. I'm not sure. I mean, it's had a pretty decent pullback today. It was down 5%, somewhere around there. And so, I mean, you're only down $47 a share on $1,000 stock. So I don't think there's any reason to panic right now. But again, it just kind of depends on what your motive for buying Tesla was.
There you go. There you go, Katrina. Brad's your Xanax. He's your stock market Xanax for the day. Juan Pablo Haddad de Chile. ¿Cómo estás, papá? Ojalá que todo está bien.
Man,
Bruce wants you to use the force, Brad. Brad, if you know how to use the force and you haven't told me that, I'm going to be pretty upset at you.
Don't you see all the lightsabers I have in the background?
Yeah, that's right. Nampa, Idaho. Trevor Magson. Yeah, my sister lives out in Caldwell, Idaho. They traveled the country and they settled there. She loves it. Cheyenne, Wyoming. Oh, yeah.
There we go.
All those parts of the country remind me. My girl watches the show Yellowstone.
Oh, yeah.
She loves that thing. Madrid, Spain. ¿Cómo está? Albertito, 369. How you doing? Harrington, Delaware. Delaware is America's rest area. I love it. Shout out to Delaware.
So we got some numbers in for Lululemon. So it looks like their estimated earnings per share is the actual earnings per share, sorry, is $1.62. We said that the $1.41 was the estimate. So they came in and beat earnings estimates there. Sales are up to $1.5 billion, beating their 1.44 estimate. And it looks like they may have lowered some of their guidance, or their guidance came in below what the expectations were. So that's why we're seeing a little bit of a sell-off. But as you can see, the stock looks like it's trying to come back a little bit here as well. So pretty decent sell-off right out the gate. So we saw for the first couple of minutes after the report came out that it shot up, and then we saw obviously the guidance numbers, I guess, came in, and then that's when it started to sell off. But looks like the stock's coming back here as well. So it's always early. We know how earnings can get. It gets a little bit all over the place. So it just went from red to green here. We'll see where it goes from here. But so far, those are the numbers that you have from Lululemon. So they came in and beat earnings per share $1.62 compared to 141 expected, and then came in with $1.5 billion. It was just in the low 1.4s for revenue. So pretty good a quarter for them. And we'll see how investors actually react to some of the guidance that they have out. But right now it's green. So I guess that's good.
Nice. Alvin Johnson says he's at your mama's house. That's I like that. I love your mama responses are timeless. I love
They really are. That and that's what she said.
Yes, yeah.
Never gets old. Never gets old.
Felicia Rosansky says every member of Congress has Apple stock. Exclamation point. Yeah, there. Yeah, oh yeah, that's yeah. I like that. Good job, Felicia.
I think everybody in America has Apple stock.
That's true. Yeah.
That invests. It's like the first stock that most people buy.
Okay. All right.
To be fair. I mean, I have Apple and I don't even own any Apple products. I'm green bubble all the way.
Green bubble. Why is that?
Why do I like Android products?
Yeah.
Because I can do whatever I want with it. Like you guys are limited to, just your plain old text colors and everything else. I can change it. I can customize whatever I want. How
much customizing are you doing over there, Brad?
A lot. I'm a creative person over here. I'm on YouTube, for crying out loud.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So I like to mess around with it. I like to do all kinds of stuff with my gear. And that's the same thing with PCs. I just I'm upgrading this PC that I got here. Can't do that with Macs. They won't let you in. They don't let you mess with that.
James McCrae from Denver, Colorado. What is up? BNZNB Trading from NC. What's up? We're in the same state. Hola. Let's see.
Remember when you couldn't plug in your headphones and charge your iPhone at the same time?
Yeah, that was sad. Yeah, I'm in a toxic relationship with Apple Music. I should totally be on Spotify. I've known this for like the last 5 years. So yeah. I just sit and watch and like cheer everybody on when they do their Spotify Wrapped.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's so cool.
Looks like Costco is moving around a little bit. I'm going to check on the numbers there. I don't see anybody checking in. Carolina's the best. I do like Carolina, man. I keep telling myself I'm going to move down one of these days.
Oh, wow. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Maryland's cool and all, but it's fucking cold.
Yeah, you come down here, you get a little bit of the season change. If it hits the 20s here, that's pretty it doesn't happen often. So just to give you an idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've been down there in the wintertime. I was down there in February and it was very tolerable. So trying to find Costco numbers, but don't have them just yet. As soon as I have them, I'll let you guys know. So I don't know if any of this movement is actually because numbers are out or not, but it doesn't look like it. Checking back in with Lululemon. If you guys are just tuning in, we did have the Lululemon numbers. So they came in and beat earnings at $1.62. The expectation was $1.41. And then they also beat revenue numbers as well. So the expectation there was $1.41 billion in revenue. They came in at 1.5. So beat on top and bottom line. And then they came in with their guidance, and I think it was a little bit lower than what a lot of people were expecting. But the stock's still going up here. It actually had a brief pullback and now is up over $420 a share after closing the day at 416, or we'll call it 417. So it's up around 1.5%. So on a pretty decent move after hours. Right now, we're also looking at Chewy. That's down 9% here after hours. Those numbers are probably in. So let me go see if I can find those.
Bruce says he has a landline and that's it. Shout out to Bruce, man. In 2016, I switched over to a flip phone. So I had no internet and all that. And I just became a burden to people because I could never call an Uber. I could never do navigation. So eventually, after like 4 months, I had to go back to a smartphone. So shout out to you, Bruce. That's good stuff.
Bro,
traditional.
We grew up in an interesting time because, people that are our age, like 30 or 40 ish, we grew up with technology. It wasn't like we were born into it, or we were born with no technology, right? So I remember playing Atari and Nintendo, and then seeing the shit that's out now is just wild to me.
Yeah. So I think it's good to see that change. Imagine what we'll see in the next 20, 40 years, with the metaverse and all that. That's going to be crazy. Jay Chocolate says California gets cold at 66. True. And you guys have smash and grabs over there too. So it's a party.
Nobody goes to jail. It's great.
Yeah.
So it looks like Chewy came in line with their revenue. I don't have earnings per share numbers yet. As soon as I have those, I'll let you know. But the stock is getting crushed right now. It's down 6.5% still. Trying to have a little bit of a bounce back, but not much here.
Bruce says Pong. I like that. That's a very simple game. Pong and Snake are the,
Yeah, on my little Nokia phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's talking about Pong maybe from Atari, maybe.
From Atari, yeah. I just remember Snake being on my little Nokia phone.
Yep.
That was like one of my first phones. And the little walkie-talkie, remember the Nextels?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I had one of those. That was big in New York. You had them on the hip.
Yep. I had it on one of those pay-as-you-go Boost mobile phones. So, and they didn't charge you minutes for using the walkie-talkie. So I was beeping everybody. I was like
Costco report. Yeah, Costco's the shit. Every time I go in there, their employees look so happy.
That place is crazy, bro.
Yeah.
So it looks like that Chewy actually missed earnings. They missed their earnings per share by 4 cents. I still don't have the exact number there, but they also came in line with revenue. And it looks like maybe their forecast wasn't exactly what people were hoping for. I think some of this has to do with supply chain issues. So that's why the stock is down right now, 7%. So moving on to Costco. But yeah, man, I mean, Costco is just an absolute monster. Look at this daily chart on Costco. It's been a giant.
Wow.
Look at this. This is just back here. This is since June. Where you see my cursor? That's since June. So it went from 385 and shot all the way up to 560.
Good for them.
5 months.
Good for them. Yeah. I've met a few people there that their businesses failed and now they work at Costco and they're still super happy, which is great, because it's tough to open a business. But if you got a safety net like Costco, guys, more people should be opening businesses. Housekeeping says, I'm law enforcement in California. Feels good to have low standards. Show up and collect the paycheck. Way to have a sense of humor. Yo, that is shout out to housekeeping on that one. That's funny.
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh my God. All right, so the Costco numbers are in. They actually crushed it. Estimated earnings per share were 262. They came in an actual 298. So they beat pretty handily there. They also beat revenue, $50 billion in one quarter. Costco brought in $50.36 billion. The estimate was 49.55. So they beat it pretty handily. Let's go back to the 1 minute chart here. Right now, it's trading just barely green here. And I talked to some of you guys about this. I don't know if I spoke to anybody else. I can't remember how much maybe it was in our Chaos Crew stream or what. But Freddie, do you know anything about dividends at all and how they work?
Nope.
So basically, if you're an investor of a company and the company does well, they usually give back to the investor in the form of some sort of dividend. Obviously, the stock goes up and you can make money that way, but you can also earn an income if you continue to stay invested in that said company, and they'll give you cash per share.
Oh, nice.
Usually it's on a quarterly basis. Some companies are on a monthly basis. Costco does it on a quarterly basis as well, but every once in a while, the stock performs particularly well, or they do well on a certain year, what have you. It's very random, but they'll give you what's called a special dividend, and it's very random. It's not even the employees know it's coming in. Nobody does. If they do, then it would be labeled as insider trading and all that good stuff. So nobody can know about it. It just happens.
And so, Costco does this?
Costco does this, yeah, and it's not a small number either. So typical dividend from Costco on a quarterly basis is around 79 cents per share. So Costco is going to give you 79 cents for every share that you own of Costco every quarter. Last time they did a special dividend, it was $10 a share.
Oh, damn. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
holy shit.
Yeah. So regular dividend is around 79 cents every quarter. That's just a normal regular one that they give out. Everybody's expecting that. Everybody knows it's coming. But a special dividend is when the company's doing particularly well, and they're like, hey, we did so well that you guys deserve to have more money from us, whatever. And so the last year it was $10, and I just feel like there's another one coming, just given the way that the stock has moved incredibly well. And obviously we're seeing some unbelievable numbers from them. I see that BNZB Trading says same store sales were up 15%. That's incredible. E-commerce numbers were up 14.3%. Another great number. So I love this. And so I think that, to me, if you're not in Costco, I think that, I'm not saying that it's going to for sure happen, because it's very rare to see Costco issue a special dividend 2 years in a row. It's usually like an every other year thing. But just given the insane outperformance the stock and the company has had over this last year, it wouldn't surprise me if we saw one relatively soon. It was almost a year ago to date that we saw a special dividend from Costco. So who knows what it would be, but bro, the special dividends are where it's at with Costco. You talk about how they take care of their employees. I actually worked with Costco when I worked for T. Rowe Price, the investment firm that I left to come onto YouTube. And they were great to work with on that end as well. I mean, they all took care of their employees. The employee stock program's incredible. Everybody who works for Costco and treats it as a career retires very, very well off, if they're a career Costco employee. And so those special dividends come in, bro. I mean, when those special dividends came when I worked at T. Rowe, the phones went crazy, because if you're an employee, if you're part of the employee stock program, you also get that special dividend. So and if you guys don't know how that works, essentially you can elect to have a portion of your paycheck every time you get paid to go into this employee stock program. So you're essentially buying Costco stock every time you get paid biweekly. So obviously that builds up over time, and you get this special dividend. I mean, if you have a decent amount of shares of Costco, I mean, shit, it could really add up. So you could elect to cash it out, obviously, or just reinvest it, and you'd have to call in to elect what you want to do with it. And so that's why, like, the phones would just go crazy. You gotta have guys that would have like a shit ton of Costco stock, and they're like, I just reinvest it, whatever, I'm gonna live off of it. And then some of them would cash it out and they go on vacation with that shit. It's just wild.
Oh, they take care of their people, man. That's great. Are they doing business with China at all?
I don't think so.
Oh, see that we need to be Costco. They are a shining example of how to run a business. That's great.
They were T. Rowe Price's largest client. They had at the time around 200,000 employees. I'm sure they have more now, but yeah, huge company. James McCrea says he bought Costco around $72 a share.
Woo!
And now it's at $5.29 after hours. Let's take a look at this on the 1 minute chart again.
Don Fron, yes, I did buy that one I believe is down on my thing.
Oh yeah, that's right. You bought so that's one that gives you a monthly dividend. So you're getting a monthly dividend for all the shares that you own. And
all right.
So that's like a stock that you would continue to buy into to generate income every month, because it's a stock that doesn't necessarily grow all that much. It has movement. All stocks move a little bit here and there, but ones that, like, what we call value stocks, that don't necessarily have a whole lot of volatility to them because they're just so big. Like the phone companies, for example, you look at something like a Verizon, they're not growing necessarily like they grew back in the day, right? But they're still around, they're still sustaining. And so for you to invest in them, they'll reward you with a dividend. So you can essentially generate income by staying invested in something like a Verizon. And that's what O does for you as well.
Okay. All right. James McCrae says, Costco's the shit. I love smoking my wax pen and walking around eating free samples. James McCrae knows how to live life.
He sure does. He sure does. All right. So we got about 150 of you guys hanging in the house. We appreciate you watching and hanging out with us. If you missed any of the numbers that came in, so Chewy reported today after hours, and they missed earnings per share, came in line with their revenue. And so the stock is now down 8.5% and continuing to get beaten down. Probably deserves to do that. Actually, the outlook just was not good for them. Lululemon came in and beat earnings per share. They beat on revenue, and their guidance was a little bit mixed. The reaction was a bit mixed. You can see how the price action here reacted, but it's actually up. It's up 2% here after hours. Freddie has Lululemon. Do you have Costco?
No, I don't. But yeah, no, I don't. But yeah,
that might be one that you might want to take a look at here in this the next time around. But yes, this is a great stock to. Do you know? This is a little bit of an inside story for those of you watching. Freddie, do you know Eric from the horse you came in on?
No, I've heard of him though.
Yeah, so he's the owner. So for those of you who don't know, there's a friend of ours who owns a local bar, and all he buys is those two stocks. Like that's all he just continues to put money in those. He's got other investments and stuff like that, but like he just loads up on Costco and Apple, and that's it. And he's Apple's gone up 500% in the last 5 years, so obviously he's doing pretty well. But
I like that. It's a simple plan. It sounds like a good one too.
And just periodically buys. You know, we have a lot of people that do that, and it's great. It's good. You invest in good companies, you get good returns. It's as simple as that.
Philip Stroh is asking me, Freddie shares ? What does that mean?
I don't know. What was the question again?
It just says Freddie shares ? Oh,
I don't know.
Oh,
no idea. Costco's still coming up here though. It's up almost 1%, so I'm making some pretty decent moves here. All right. That might do it for us, Freddie.
Yeah, this was a good show. This was fun. Shout out to the Chaos crew.
Yeah, thanks for participating too, guys. Sometimes we have to like beg for you to engage, but there was a lot of engagement here. I saw a lot of comments, and that's what we love to see.
Yep.
Lastly, before you guys go, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, because we'll be live again at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday for Stock Watch Sunday. Fat Man Zoom will be back. I have official word that he will be back. Yeah, Freddie, where can they find where can they find you at?
Oh man, I'm excited. After this, I'm gonna head to a wedding in Charlottesville. They said there's gonna be tiki torches. It's gonna be a good time. Guys, follow me at Freddie Valoy and sign up to my Patreon, patreon.com/Freddie Valoy. Me and my mom have a few episodes. We have 4 episodes up there now. It's very family and relationship based. She's hilarious. And the next piece of content for this month, I'm going through Ted Kaczynski's manifesto, where he talks about technology ruining society, and the guy was kind of spitting bars. So that's at patreon.com/Freddie Valoy. Thank you.
All right, that's awesome, guys. Thanks so much again. Go to ownthechaos.com as well if you want to get a free watch list from us and help support the channel and support everything you see behind you. And that's going to do it for us, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. We'll see you on Sunday. Bye.
Bye.